Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us. You are at the CRM for SharePoint webinar. Of course, this one includes self-service, which is very nice added functionality. Just a couple quick housekeeping things here. We'll do quick introductions. It'll take about 30 seconds. We're going to do a very, very brief company background, which will be about 2 minutes. The demonstration will be about 30 minutes. And then there will be an optional Q&A period, which we hope you attend. Now we have an area over on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You should have a little control panel that allows you to ask questions. We very much would like to hear from you on that. So please ask any question you might have, and if we can't answer it right away, please stick around for the Q&A period. Okay, moving forward, doing the actual demonstration today, we have the SharePoint Guru himself, Jeff Webb. He's the author of Essential SharePoint. He went to college at 15 years old, I just learned. Jeff, that was tough, I'm sure. His clients are some of the largest U.S. government departments, and he has a number of large corporations as his clients. In the background today, we have Stefan Lutz. He's a SharePoint expert and VP of Sales and Marketing at BPA. He will be answering the questions in the background, and certainly we do hope that you'll stick around for the Q&A at the end. So just a little about BPA Solutions. This is going to be very quick here. BPA is a private company already in the black, and actually has been since its inception. So we are profitable. We're currently at 18 employees, but growing very rapidly. We just started rolling out in North America, so that is just been over the last 3 months, and this webinar series that we're doing is part of that. We're a Microsoft certified gold partner, and we have partners worldwide. Actually, we are looking for partners here in the U.S. If you are in a major metropolitan area and have a very big competency within SharePoint, we certainly would love to hear from you. Our clients include well over 300 clients. We have over 300 clients worldwide now. Actually, well over 100 here in North America alone. So this is our webinar series. Of course, right now we have SharePoint or CRM for SharePoint. Sorry there. That is right now at 3 o'clock, and the final leg of our webinar series is tomorrow with Project for SharePoint. If you missed either quality, risk, or recruiting for SharePoint, which we just did the recruiting for SharePoint, please let us know if you need a link to the webinar or if you would like a personalized demonstration. You can email either me, Bobby.Forrester at bpa-solutions.net, and please take note of bpa-solutions.net. So it's Bobby.Forrester at bpa-solutions.net, or you can email Ted or info at bpa-solutions.net. The only thing I ask is that we will do a poll about 10 minutes prior to the end of the webinar. We will continue the webinar after the poll, but we ask you to let us know how to follow up with you. It's very important to us so that we're not wasting anybody's time, yours or ours. Certainly if you don't expect phone calls or emails, we would like to know so that that is not the case. Otherwise, here we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Jeff. Jeff, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for the nice introduction. I really appreciate that.
One of these days, you're going to have to tell everybody about what it was really like going to college at the age of 15.
Well, it's a family tradition, so I can tell this story, but just rest assured I graduated at the normal time, so it took me longer to get out than most people. Anyway, I'd like to talk to you today about a couple different things. First off, I'm going to do a little overview of how BPA works, what the technical structure is, and also it's going to be very brief, but I'd like to then go in and demo the product directly and show you some of the benefits. So this is sort of an overview of all the different products that BPA sells up here at the top. And they're all built on a platform of web parts, workflows, data connectors, and other components called the BPA CRM platform. Rather than sell that as pieces like some other solution providers do, we put them together into solutions. CRM solution obviously is for customer relationship management. There's project quality. We're going to talk about the self-service module today and a little bit about the XRM platform itself and how it integrates with CRM. But self-service can be used with any of these products, and I'll show you that in a second. This is the XRM platform itself and what it adds to SharePoint. So SharePoint's a great platform for social collaboration, for managing documents, for doing some list-based applications. But in order to make it a fully fledged application platform, it needs some other add-ins. Generally, you either buy these as parts or as a whole if you're purchasing the BPA platform. A report builder. SharePoint doesn't do much in the way of reporting. Charting web parts are one of the most commonly requested features in SharePoint. Scorecarding to build dashboards, things like that. Those visual components to create a management cockpit for people to run their businesses. Those are out of the box. SharePoint is a little weak in those categories, and so we extend them. Also, BPA extends activity management with some very advanced workflows and list optimizations here on this lower list. It extends the social networking features around profiles and integration with LinkedIn, things like that. But most importantly, it handles both sides of email management. So many people who are new to SharePoint are used to working out of Outlook itself or Exchange folders and things like that. So where BPA comes in, it allows email to be sent into the system and be sent out of the system. So they have a more natural path from their existing Outlook-based applications into SharePoint, and we find that it really helps with adoption. And it helps close the loop with customers. Then in addition to this, the lower layer of stuff, it's very advanced data permissioning, connectors to external data sources, mobile capabilities, and all those kinds of things, which are underneath to make things work that aren't very sexy to look at directly, but they're important to deliver on solutions. So when we talk about self-service and XRM or any other application, we need to be very clear that there are components of your application that you want to expose to your clients out there in the public, maybe on a perimeter network. And then there's the internal data, your internal users, that you kind of want to keep on a separate system. So BPA self-service is structured so that it can be installed on a SharePoint Foundation server and a perimeter network, and then it replicates its data into the CRM system itself. And that allows you to have sort of private conversations on things and then control what's public-facing to your clients, which is incredibly important. And most security officers won't let you do it any other way. Certainly within the government they won't. Anyway, the things that we handle through self-service are typically requests for service or cases. We also manage the ability to request accounts, and there's an approval process for those accounts, conduct surveys with clients, fax. You can think of this as sort of the public-facing side of your business. You could structure your business around this so that customers have very easy access to your content online. So let's go ahead and take a look at the application itself. And here is the self-service portal. I've already signed in here, and you can see that I'm signed in as my trial account. And customers that are requesting accounts can do it online through anonymous access, and they can come and they fill out their information, and they wait here to be validated. So once I validate these users, then they can sign in and they get their password and all that type of stuff. Once they sign in, like I am in, I can simply come in and make a request for service. Say I want to report, I want to make a license request. Say I want to ask for additional service on my account. I'm going to ask for 10 new user licenses. This is the kind of request that people like to get, because it means they made a sale. Need additional and I didn't have to have anybody handle this request. I can just click send. And what this does is it's going to submit this to the system where I can, as a customer, I can watch my requests here just by looking at the request. But on the inside of BPA, if I refresh this page, I should see this outstanding request come in right here. So this is actually a separate web application on a separate server, and it's been assigned an account number to follow and track. There's a KPI indicators showing that it's still on track, it's not overdue, and I could actually reply to this. I can get a nice little preview here. This is an example of some of the value that BPA adds. It's a little previewer so that I don't have to leave this page. I can just preview each of the requests very easily from here. So that's kind of a nice little feature. If I look at one of the requests that's in process here, such as this one, I can click on it and I can see the history here. This was a request that was made a while back, and there's been some replies. There's been a document uploaded in a language I don't recognize. So it does support multiple languages. You could reply to this request very easily from here. And if I learned German, Dutch, I don't know. I could actually read what's going on. We also have the ability to push out FAQs for people, tutorials, and conduct surveys, as I mentioned earlier here. Within the navigation, we've included links back to the CRM site to make it easy for us to jump back and forth between this site and this site. So this site has links back to the self-service module. Of course, this is all configurable because it's SharePoint. It's very easy to change. And it's very easy to brand with your own user interface. Obviously, this is pretty much out-of-the-box SharePoint branding, but branding is a well-understood process in the SharePoint world, and we could brand this to match your client base. Whatever your public-facing website looks like, we can match it there. So let's talk a little bit about CRM as it relates to this external-facing site. So the idea is that you could have an external-facing site where people are making requests, and they're coming into your activities list here, just as they came into this XRM site, and then they can be handled as part of our sales cycle, for instance. And in this case, we can walk through a little bit of a day in the life of what it means to process a request and to promote that through to our system as a sale. So typically, what happens is most of these things occur through contacts that we have. There's our individuals in our system, and if I received a request for one of my contacts, I can simply drill in and get a profile of that contact. In this case, I've got a contact, Claudia Hill, and for instance, she may have a request for a product demo. In this case, say she's interested in the CRM product. I just start a new opportunity for her here. And again, this can be automated as part of a workflow with an external-facing request. So it's very easy to start these. Interested in CRM, right? And I'm going to assign it to myself. And we have these smart lookups that allow us to set what stage of the cycle, of the sales cycle, this is in. And the CRM product is based around these various phases just by out of the box when we install it. But you can define your own phases and your own probabilities of close. I'm going to jump right to proposal because she's asked for a demo and a proposal on a system. And then it's a software sale, and she's a new client. Now, important within any sales system is to manage the dates. So you need to know, when you're starting from, when your next appointment is scheduled, and then ultimately when you're going to close on a deal. So in this case, we expect to close in 30 days, and we click Save. And these are the types of values that the system is going to key off of to tell what the next steps are, whether things are overdue, and how those activities are managed. Now again, on my home page, when I come in here, I see what my open opportunities are in my sales system, and I see this new one here, and I see that it's on track. I see that I have some activity up here, some email that was sent that I'm going to need to take a look at. This is sort of my little dashboard. And then I see how our company is doing overall with these KPIs, how many incoming leads we have, what are won deals, and here's some graphics showing our overall won opportunities for this period. We also have this nice calendar that can show upcoming events that's color-coded by user, and these activities show up here as I hover over seeing what's happening in our activities calendar. If I go to the sales system itself, you get an idea of how I would consider this sort of the genius of BPA, is that they base all their applications against an approved methodology. In this case, it's the DEI sales system, which uses this type of graph to determine a pipeline, a product pipeline, where you have a certain number of opportunities coming in that they advance to the first appointment, to info gathering, finally to proposal, and then ultimately to when they close. Each of these phases on this is associated with a certain probability that they will be closed. And for instance, there's 0 probability on your first appointment, but when you get to info gathering, there's a 25% probability you're closed. So our future value of all these opportunities now is almost 13,000 euros in this case. And this allows you to have a predictable pipeline so that you can see when you're in trouble. Obviously here, this number is smaller than this number. We're going to need to bump up our performance and generate some new leads in order to keep our pipeline strong. When I look at the lead that I just entered here for my client, and you'll see some interesting things about it if I drill into it. For one thing, I entered it for Claudia, and it automatically populated that it came from Pixel Mill. That's because this relational data is automatically maintained. I didn't need to go in and fill this tab out. All I needed to do was click on Claudia's name and enter this information. The date management is still maintained, as are the details. And these forms that you see are not out-of-the-box SharePoint forms. They're designed using the XRM platform that BPA provides. These forms are designed in the browser themselves. You don't need to use SharePoint Designer. You don't need to use InfoPath or any other external tools to create these forms. You can design them right from the product using this nice drag-and-the-drop editor that I can show you near the end of the presentation. Then to advance this opportunity, if I get word from Claudia that it was a great deal, I can just go and I can say this has gone to a verbal yes. You know, this is an opportunity that she wants to get a final pricing, and then we have the okay. So I'm going to click and save it, and you'll see that it advances very quickly to the next stage. If I drill into this opportunity, here I get an overview of the opportunity. This is a paradigm that you'll see again and again in BPA. They have lists of things, lists of opportunities, lists of contacts that you can very easily drill into the details, so the profile of the item. And I think this is a nice design that serves them very well. And within each of the profiles, you have all these different actions that you can take. These are various things that are very common to do. And in our case, one of the key actions is to send an email, right? So if I click Send Email, I'll go right to my email page. So it helps me contact Claudia Hill. It fills in her email address and generates this nice little email template. But say that I want to use a different standard template from the system, I can come in here and I can say, hey, I'd like to invite her to football. And now it fills in this information here about the football match. I can preview this, or I can send a test to me. In this case, I'm going to send myself a test so I can demonstrate the other side of this. And send the email very quickly. We also have the ability to send mass emails to groups of people. Say, there's my email. Say I was going to invite a whole bunch of people to the football match. I can select items from any list I have out there. I can go to my my contacts list let's see. Let's go to my contacts list here. I can select a view from there of all, and then I can select items right from this list here. And I can go in and say I want to send mail to these 3 people. Save. I can delete Claudia from that. And now it's going to send mail to these 3 people. And it'll give me a chance to confirm, and so I don't send spam accidentally. Let's go ahead and take a look at that email that came in. And I want to show you, that's just a test that I sent to myself. I want to show you that I can send this back to SharePoint from the add-ins that BPA provides. And what this does is it downloads information from the web application. And so I can then look up users right from here based on that metadata. So I see Claudia here. I'm going to tag this to send it and associate with her account, and I'll send it back to SharePoint. So Bobby, now's a good time to do your poll. If you want to switch on, I'm going to...
I agree with you completely. Let me go ahead and let me ask you, how should we follow up with you? Please let me know so that we aren't spinning your wheels there, burning your cycles. Please, everybody, please vote here so that you're not receiving phone calls and emails that you're just not interested in. So far, about 70% have voted, so if everybody could please vote, I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, we still have about 5 people that haven't voted, so if you can all vote, again, please do so. I'll close the poll in about 10 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Now again, if you have any questions, we're going to be continuing with the webinar right now, but if you have any questions, be sure to type them into the question and answer area so that we can go over them. I'm going to go ahead and close, and why don't you go ahead and continue.
Thank you, Bobby. So I just wanted to show you there was no man behind the curtain. The mail came in, and it was, it came into the system. So now it's captured by the BPA sales system, and it can be classified. Obviously, it's going to be categorized under Claudia's account, and I can keep track of all my communication with this client this way, so that if I go off on vacation, Stefan can take over, and he can see that we invited her to the football match and that we're waiting for a response. He can also see the opportunities that we've generated, and that it's now getting ready to close. And you can look at the version history of this contact. He can even create a quote right from the system. If we go to our opportunities list, we can generate quotes based on documents that we've generated, templates that we have, so that you don't have to seek approval for every quote. If your system would allow you to just send out automated quotes on things, you can actually have these nice pre-formatted quotes come right out of the system based on the rules that and price lists that you already have in the system. And here's an example of a quote generated right from BPA Solutions. And of course, your logo would be provided, and all this is configurable. So I'd like to walk you through some of the reporting and some of the dashboarding and some of those things that you can do from this system to monitor performance. Let's take a look. Let's go back into the system here. And here we have sort of an overview of the various types of graphs. This is just sort of a laundry list of charts that we can create. And these are all configurable. There's a total of 15 different charts. Of course, the gauge is very popular. The sales funnel is very key to the sales system, because this enforces the concept of you start with many opportunities and they lead down to a small number of actually closed deals that you want to close. So you try to monitor those things so that your pipeline stays good and you don't get any bad financial surprises at the year end. Another thing that's important is the scorecards for tracking performance. And in this case, these scorecards are very easy to fill out. You can just enter the value of a result periodically, and then it tracks that on a month-to-month basis. And if I go back to my scorecard, you'll see the values updated, and the color code gives you a quick visual that this is still at risk at 22. That's not a good value. These are all configurable. If I need to set the ranges for a KPI, I can just basically drill into the actual item and then say that valid ranges are between 5 and 24 or whatever, that set the color coding so that we can gather that information. Dashboarding is very important. As those of you who have worked in SharePoint know that these pages are very easy to create based on web parts. Each of these pages is totally editable right from the browser. You can come in here and you can change not just the layout but what web parts are created. Web parts are sort of like Lego blocks in SharePoint, and you can add your lists and change the order of things. You can add charts to a web part zone just by clicking on here and adding new web parts. It's a very easy thing to do in the user interface. We also have the ability to do sort of ad hoc queries in the system, and the reporting tool within BPA is very strong. I can go in and look at some existing reports, such as opportunities by country, and I can just run these the way they are, or I could add parameters if I wanted to refine them. So if I click Run Now, it's going to go and generate this report, and then I can just simply open that and get the results right here in SharePoint. And of course I can export this to a spreadsheet, or I could send this to management if I thought it was particularly interesting or something I needed to do and act on. Again, we've got regularly scheduled reports that are very similar to the queries. These are all defined for our system, and people can use those as a matter of their regular work processes. All of these web parts and pages display in mobile applications, and that's pretty important because SharePoint out of the box isn't always real friendly with iPads. So there's this very nice little iPad emulator online, which is a kind of a cool application that can show you that in fact all this displays correctly in an iPad, and it has a very nice little promo for myself there. But basically this proves that none of this is using Silverlight or a Flash or other things that aren't compatible with iPads. There's also an emulator for the iPhone here that's very similar that you can just click on and try different things. The last, and I think the most important thing about this is one of the things I like the best about BPA solutions, and the reason I work with them, is that this is all configurable. It's all SharePoint. So I can come here to my settings and I can look and see this is the if I go view all site content, I can see this is just the back-end data for the system. This is where all the data for this application is stored, so that when SharePoint gets backed up, my application data is backed up. And if I wanted to make changes to one of these lists, if I wanted to add new fields or extend them in some way or change the names of fields, it's a very easy thing to do. We have that request all the time. Well, we don't call them activities. We call them new business, or people always want to change the names of things. In SharePoint, that's super easy, so why make it hard at all? So that's an advantage we really have over XRM solutions, where it's much easier more difficult to change those types of things. We also have the ability to define those email templates that you saw, and it's an easy tab right here. And if I look at these templates, I can actually preview them right here and see what the template says. I can edit them right from here. They're just a SharePoint list, and it's a very easy thing to modify. BPA themselves use about 50 different templates for email, and they support localization. So we can have English version, we can have French German. Obviously, our friends in Canada need to support multilingual applications, and BPA has that out of the box. There's also the ability to edit those forms, and I was going to show you that because that's a very cool feature here. Let's take a look at the context list, and I'll see if I can remember everywhere I need to click in this to drill into it. Let me see. I want to go to the form editor. I'm not sure this one has an edited form here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so if I select the contact form, I can then edit the form for this list right here in the browser. And in this case, we can see the form. It's defined with one main area here and 2 tabs below. And the only information that's not on this form right now is mobile number. All I have to do is drag this to this form, and it adds it to the display. I can add a new tab if I want to, just by clicking here, and then I can add, oops, I'm going to be careful how I click. I can add it right here in street. You can add new information to these tabs, and they appear right away as soon as you deploy. We always get questions. I'm not going to save this because this is my demo. We always get questions about how easy things are to customize, and if we go back to the settings page, you can see that in addition to it being pretty straightforward as far as out-of-the-box SharePoint goes, let me get to settings. We also have the ability to turn things on and off very easily. So often people have sections that they're not using, and say that I chose not to use the mail merge templates or something. We could actually just deactivate that. It wouldn't even appear in the user interface. It can always be turned on later. So this ability to configure the application is configured right here from this nice little dashboard. These are all activities that site administrators perform. They're not your day-to-day user activities, but if you have a SharePoint administrator on staff, this will make perfect sense to them. They won't be thrown by any strangeness here. And I have to stress, there's no custom database behind this. There's no huge XML definition. There's nothing that needs to be compiled. It's all within this application. I think I'm right at time here. Let me check. I'm a little bit over time, but we started a few minutes behind. So I'd like to give a chance for people to ask questions if they have any. So I'm going to kick it back to Bobby to do the closing, and then we can get to questions.